Ready?
All right, I'll send it back to live and enjoy.
All right, we're back with Kikstart 2. Another game which was multi-platform. Another one I'm doing on the Spectrum. This time it's not the best version, and you're going to find out why fairly quickly. So let's just get started. So Kikstart 2 is a Trials-like game. If you've played Trials HD, Evolution Rising, any of those Red Links games, this is basically the early predecessor. This was released on multiple platforms and was successful on all of them. But I do have to wonder quite why it was successful on this one, because I mean, just look at what's happening on screen at the moment. It doesn't make any sense. This one is very slightly buggy. Just has one or two little bugs in it. So I'm playing both the top and the bottom players at the same time. This is faster because the AI is terrible at this game. These holes in the ground are bunny hops. They're supposed to hurt you when you drive into them. Sometimes they don't. I don't know why. We're going to drive along here and crash. Okay. So we have these wooden ramps. We have these mud ramps. We have brick ramps. They all make you go higher. They are supposed to have different properties in regards to how quickly you can go up them, how quickly you can accelerate on them, and so on. On the Spectrum version, they don't. They are all just ramps. We have fire. If you touch the fire, you get burned. You fall off your bike. Freeze blocks you can drive on. Other things you can drive on. But this is, I mean, just look at that. So there is a certain arrangement of ramps in the game which just caused the game to completely glitch out. And you would think that a reasonable level designer would just avoid using that kind of ramps. But no, instead they put them absolutely everywhere. Most levels in the game have this particular structure. I don't know why they wanted to advertise the bugginess of the game, but it does kind of make it a lot more fun. So we have springs. You jump on them, you bounce. Fairly simple. Most of the things are fairly straightforward. It's just a matter of navigating them. You'll notice I fall off a lot. Some of this is because I'm playing 2 players. Some of it is because I have genuine skill issues. But surprisingly, most levels in the game you cannot beat without falling off. Because again, there is no level design here. There is only pain and suffering. So let's see if we can find something else to talk about in these levels before I move on to the level system itself. So I'm sure there's something I'm missing, but I can't think of it right now. Anyway, so there are 24 levels in the game by default. The letters A to X, and you can only race levels in sets of 5. So we are going to race one level twice to get through all of them. You'll notice which one we pick. It's not going to be difficult to spot. Anyway, we've beaten one set of 5, so we're going to go on to the next set of 5. And again, this is the same pattern of ramps here on the top screen. That's the one that glitches out. And so now we've got 2 glitched out players. And now they will not be glitched out again. So these coming up on the screen now are barrels. You cannot land on them. If you land on them, you will fall off. There is supposed to be a speed limit for driving on them as well. But again, the Spectrum version does not have that. These are wooden logs. Again, you cannot land on them or you'll fall off. There is a speed limit to driving on these ones. And again here. I should slow down for them, but in practice, I'm playing two motorcyclists at the same time. I ain't going to concentrate on 2 lots of speed at the same time. I'll take the time loss. So you know, some stages are nice and bright, and some stages are dark. You can specify. Okay, I don't know why I fell off there. I just okay. Thanks, game. When you each stage has a defined either daytime, nighttime, or snow level. The snow ones are also black background with white. I am failing at the top screen at the moment. Meanwhile, the second screen just walked through a wall, go through a wall. Yeah, so this was actually incredibly highly rated at the time in magazines, and for the Amiga and Commodore 64 versions, I can understand why. It's a pretty solid game. The CPC version is not as solid, but it is fun. And this version is fun for an entirely different reason. I mean, I will say that at least they tried. Some of the design is genuinely interesting. And if it weren't for the fact that it's impossible to beat them, most of these levels would actually be pretty good. On top of all the bugs you're seeing in the gameplay, we've also got some bugs with the timer. You'll notice they're 2 digits for the number of seconds, and it wraps around from 99 to 0. It actually genuinely wraps around from 99 to 0. So if you finish a race in 100 seconds, it gets registered on the high score table as 0 seconds. As in, it will beat a time of less than 100 seconds. You might think that the timer going faster when you're off your bike is a bug. That isn't. That one's deliberate. That's basically just your crash penalty. When you fall off your bike, the camera slowly pans and the timer doubles in speed until you get to another flat area that you can ride from again. Right, 2 minutes in. Should we go to the third set of levels? So KLMNO. The good news is that I can just type in the letter names to load these levels straight up. There is also an option to press. Oh, I'm debating here. I'll say Z, since it is the correct one. Or Z if you prefer. And it will randomize the level set. Unfortunately, it'll only randomize in the sense of it'll pick 5 or 24 at random. There is also a level editor in the game. And that wasn't common for the time. Because this game was released in 1987. And as far as level editors go, you can completely recreate everything that's already in the game. So it's fairly robust. And I would imagine that the level editor being a thing is probably the reason. I mean, there is the AI is a genuine AI. It will always perform the same every time in each level. But if you create a new set of levels, it will also do its best to beat those levels. It's equally bad at custom levels as it is at the inbuilt levels. It often cheats. It often somehow manages to actually fall off its bike while not on its bike. You know, it tries its best. But every time you finish a level, you have to wait for the other bike to finish as well. And it is faster for me to play as both the first and second players compared to waiting for the AI to finish. I can usually finish the game, finish all the levels in about 22, 23 minutes. Like this. With the AI, it is almost a consistent 31 minutes. So I'm saving 7 minutes of your life. Is the broken ramp format again, which means we get some glitchiness. One thing I haven't mentioned is the jumping mechanic. Again, I'm pretty sure this isn't intended, but there is infinite coyote time. So when you drive off a ramp, you can jump again at any point in the air before you hit the ground. But you only get a single jump. And if you jump from the ground, you don't get a double jump. So basically, you get double jump from ramps if you count the ramp as your single jump. Again, I'm pretty sure it's not intended, but it actually does. It's an interesting mechanic. It actually makes a couple of levels possible where they... Okay, player 2 is just cheating. Let me see how far this goes. Okay, it just goes. As player 2, I'm invincible. Yeah, I'm just invincible. And then the player 1 spawns and immediately dies. Yeah, so sometimes you can just not take any damage from anything. That's the game. So now I'm struggling to beat the level properly. Right, on to PQRST. And now we have 2 of the hardest levels in the game. I'm going to have to really concentrate for these. Yeah, they're just blank. For some reason, there are 4 blank levels in the game. Just nothing in them. They're at 31 seconds. That is the length of a level. Good job we won't see that. Oh, never mind. It's another blank level. Nice day for a bike ride. Right, onto some real levels. Let's see if this one will break in some interesting way. I guess that was kind of interesting. Oh yeah, we have some telephone boxes. They are just harmful to touch. Just don't touch them. I realize I hadn't mentioned those yet. Just waiting to come back. There we go. Nevertheless. So these are actually barrels, those little things. They're just barrels that have been chopped in half. You can chop and stretch basically everything in the game in the editor. As I say, the editor is actually quite advanced, especially for the time. But I think they were maybe trying to push too much with the gameplay. Okay, and on to level T. So a single spring is not wide enough for you to put your bike on. And neither is a pair of breeze blocks. You need at least 2 springs or 3 breeze blocks. 2 tyres is wide enough, but the problem with tyres is that you have to drive over them quickly or you fall off. So I don't know why it even lets you spawn on tyres, because you're guaranteed to fall off when you do. Like that. Okay, come on, across the line. On to the final set of 5 levels. We're going to go U, V, W, X, and Q. There's no Y. In fact, the Y button is the only button that doesn't do anything on the title screen. Except for things like cap shift. It's the only letter that doesn't do anything. Okay, the bike's just disappeared in a spate of graphical glitchiness. Wondering when something like that would happen. So this is the last real level. Spoiler alert. This is actually probably one of the best levels in terms of being reasonable to play. I mean, I almost did it completely flawlessly. And then we have 3 more levels of this. So we get the nighttime. "31 seconds of nighttime, followed by 31 seconds of snow, followed by 31 seconds of daytime." So we're looking at about 24 minutes and, let's say, 15, 20 seconds. 24:20, I'm going to go. Might be a little bit after that. My estimate was 30 minutes. So I hope it'll be okay if I quickly show off a bit of glitchiness at the end. It'll only take about a minute. It's the daytime one. I think that was a 24. We'll find out when we get there. 24, 25. Okay. And that's all levels of Kikstart 2. So I am going to briefly go into level B, because it is the most broken one. So I mentioned before about this ramp structure, where if you drive over it, things get a bit wacky. Things get extra wacky if you decide that what you're going to do when you drive over it is slow down. So let's do it here. We'll wait a bit and slow down towards the end here. So it's gonna. Okay. Well, that's a fair amount of graphical corruption. Let's do it with player 2 as well. Player 2 is not driving in the sky. That is just a bit of graphical corruption there. So let's do player 2. Slow down. Speed up. And fall off by going too high. I'm surprised that hasn't crashed the game yet. But this should crash the game when I get too far into the level. Here we go, here we go, there we go, and it's crashed. So yeah, Kikstart 2. Completely solid game, lots of fun. Give it a go. Follow me, twitch.tv/DigitalDuck. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of Obscurathon.